Yeah, so it's all so it's always good. Okay, let me accept it. All right. Okay, good. So yeah, so that's kind of like what I'm about too, and continuing the work that as we say, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey began. Well, he didn't actually begin it. It's a long line of what you would call nationalists, Pan Africanists, Black nationalists, Pan Africanists. Go all the way back to people like Kofi and Paul Cuffey and Martin Delaney and Bishop Henry McNeil Turner. So we had a long tradition to develop the theories or the social theories that we developed, and doing the so Mr. Garvey, they stopped him. You looked at the video and then the chumped up charges. They charged him with mail fraud, I think it was, in which they never could prove. They just convicted him anyway, even though they didn't really have any concrete evidence. So they convicted him and they deported him to Jamaica. And the organization still continued for a little while. Then a lot of infighting started, and so it's still it's still going on today. We're having a convention in Detroit on the 24th, I think the 23rd. So we've been continuing to have conventions, and we have a president general. If you could see, I don't know if you can see on my scene, you got TG for for change in time and motion, TG for PG. So that PG is the president general. He's the person who's in charge of the organization. And so I ran, and I didn't run in 2022, which was last, no, 2021 when we had our election. It's supposed to have been in 2020, but we postponed it because of COVID. And so I didn't really have all my ducks lined up. So, I actually just pulled out, but I'm going back again. So that's part of my ultimate plan that's what I'm building up these resources for, and to build up, organize, as I said, people and resources, because that's what it is, one definition of power: organize people and organize resources. So we want to organize our people, and we want to organize our resources so we can make a lot of the moves that we want to make. So I have a few more plans. We can get into them along the line, to work through the UNIA. You know what I mean? But first, I have to be able to work with the UNIA to implement, again, what you say, some of the Pan Africanist ideas that I have. Uh, I have to clinch that spot. So I think I should be able to do that. Especially when we get this. See, I usually say if I get this program working, but I'm more and more changed. That if is starting to look more and more like a win. That if is turning into a win. So yeah, I just want to to give you a little background. I know you might have seen it, because I know that I don't know that a lot of people might be turned off by the language in the in the website, or the concept behind it. But even the original Susu that I was in was like Ujamaa. So it's based on one of the principles of the Qaeda, and which Kwanzaa is. That's another explanation. But one, it was one of the short answer is one of the 7 principles of the Kwanzaa. But Ujamaa really was. I guess I don't know if you know or not, may or may not know that it's a Swahili word that means collective working responsibility, and the other one is Ujima. No, cooperative economics. So it's Ujima, which is collective working responsibility, and Ujamaa, which is collective economics, which Julius Nyerere did. He had his Ujamaa villages in I think it wasn't Kenya, Tanzania, I think. And so so those are the principles that we kind of like. It's the Black ideology for change. That's what the Kawaii is, and that was by I'm supposed to go Karinga, not Karanja. Yeah, Karinga, Ron Karinga, the US organization in California. So he came up with Kwanzaa in the '60s, and so we actually we celebrate those principles, or we put those principles into practice. And so this is what another thing is. And again, it's not to be exclusively Black. Think the thought about it being inclusive, exclusive. It is inclusive, as long as the people agree with, our liberation struggle. What I mean? If they people of goodwill. So I don't, I know some people might be offended by it. I don't know. So did I ask you, what did you think about the website, or the writing, or?
Oh yeah, I think all around it kind of has like a good message. I feel like it can be like kind of like rearranged so like most people can get it, because like only like if you like really in tune, then you can like really understand what it's saying. But there's some, you know what I'm saying? But all around it kind of has like a good message.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess that is one of the tasks to bring. I know one. I know I had 2 videos on there. In the one video where I'm doing all the narration, I think that's kind of long. I know it's long. It's 6 minutes, and I really want to cut that in half, to about 3 minutes. And I don't want to have a long, drawn out message like that. Which 6 minutes isn't really that long, but it's 2 videos on there that I want people to watch. One is 6 and one is 4. That's 10 minutes. So again, I want to cut the 4 one. There's not too much I could do about that one. But the one where I do the narration, I would like to have that cut down to about 3 minutes.
Oh
Or
yeah.
something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So also, like we were saying, having the website redeveloped, I want to put 2 tabs in it. Two more tabs. A tab for like members, a member page, and a landing page, join us page. And that's what I guess would come from social media. Social media would lead people to my landing page. And they would go to the landing page, and that's where they can join. So what you say, you think you want to deal with the social media aspect of it, or?
Yeah, I can do that part because I know for like the members and like the join us page, there's like some programs out there where there's like a contact page, so they put in their information and then they send it over, and then you can like collect emails and like their contact information and store it in like Mailchimp and like different like link trees and stuff like that.
Uh-huh. And so the members page, that's where that narrative that I sent you, that would be the interactive part, or what they call it, the automation. You put a bot. I don't know what it's called. I would have to
Oh
get that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to get that to you. Know about bots?
Oh, it's like that like little chat, and then you can like kind of like just type with it, or like kind
Oh,
of like
yeah, I know what you mean.
interact.
Didn't respond. Yeah. Well, I guess I don't want a bot. Uh, uh, I just wanted to go through that cycle. When you
Oh
when you go
yeah,
to that. So that's where when you get into the members page, that's when you would see all your information. You have your account, and it'll take you through it, and.
oh like
So
it's like a login page.
basically, it's a login page. It's a
Uh,
login page. So you log into your account. And then your account does what it does. I mean, show you. You log when you log in. That's when your movement starts.
okay.
And you log in by paying your dollar and having 2 other people send out 2 invitations, and when they accept the invitations, then like I said, then you in, then you have then you can open up an account, and that's how you start the process. So
Yeah.
I have to give that to a coder, I guess. I don't know. I was trying to figure out who I give it to next. I've given it to. I guess I wait till I talk to my if he proves to be reliable. The person who I had who is supposed to be a software engineer. But I don't know how soon he's gonna get back with me, or if he's gonna get back with me. And that's another thing. I think I'm gonna wait to give him to Thursday. And if he don't contact me on Thursday, uh, I'm going to probably find somebody on Fiverr. And that's another thing I might probably want you to ask you to do. You think you know how you could locate the person who would do that for me? Do I need a coder? Do I need a UI developer or a website developer? I don't know which one where to go next with this. And the people I was dealing with, they were kind of like, since I knew very little, they gave me what they gave me, and that was it. What I mean, and it seemed like I thought they was gonna put code in it, but they didn't. You know, so I guess they call that part of the implementation. I don't know if I told you that the guy wanted like $3,000, but I've been
Uh,
looking, and it was gonna take him 2 to 3 months. But I was looking on Fiverr, and people who would do it in 2 days and stuff like that for like 30, 40, or $200. Something between that, something is within the reach of if it's in my reach, in my immediate reach.
yeah, I know if you like kind of like type in like website development or like kind of like website anything like around websites, and then like there are some people that comes up, and then you can like kind of tell them cater like you can tell them like what exactly what you need, since you only need like 2 extra tabs, it shouldn't be that much because it's not like a full-on extra website. It's just 2 other tabs going with the regular website.
Right. Well, I think I could do that. You know, I could do that, fine. Just a matter of, you know, because I like usually when you talk to people, even that guy, it took like, you know, the guy I used who gave me that, it took me about, I don't know, 3 or 4 days before he realized what I wanted, you know. And I tried to send him the website. I sent him to my website. I sent him the whiteboard, and I also sent him something else. You know, he kept telling me, well, you know, what, you know, he kept saying, what do you want? What do you want? You know. And finally, I gave him kind of an example because I looked at some YouTube videos, and I knew that, you know, so I just, you know, it's a step by step. You know, I need these instructions. I need an application that will, you know, execute these instructions. So finally, he got it. You know, and then he was able to he gave me what he gave me. I was expected to get coding with it, but again, like I say, I guess he just gave me the basic specs for it, you know. And the coder could look at those specs, and then, you know, so then the coder could look at those specs, because some of the sites I was looking at, the developers say they don't do coding. So you know, and then one of them said, you know, if you need coding, you got to talk to me, and we'll talk about another offer. So I think it's a 2-step thing right now. I got to have coding, and I got to have development. Develop those 2 tabs. Then
Yeah.
after that, I'll be ready to go. That's the last step, I think. And so if I'm just going to use social media universally, or do I just, you know, try to hit on my warm market, you know? And so I could, you know, hit my warm market through social media. You know, I guess I was thinking maybe you could do that through messaging, you know, send the whiteboard through messaging, and then have, if they're interested, then they can come to the website and, you know, for more information.
Oh, kind of like Facebook messaging.
Yeah,
Or,
Facebook Messenger. How many other messengers? That's what most people have, right? Facebook. So Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, what are those? How did that work?
So for like Instagram, that's mostly like pictures and videos where you can have like people like kind of like see either your pictures and videos, and then you can have like a link in bio, which will be like your link. And then like TikTok will be just like videos. It could be like short videos between like, I think like 15 to like a minute 30, where you can just showcase something, anything like video wise. And then you can also create like a business, so you can have your link within your profile. And then Twitter is mostly just like tweets, but you can also add like pictures or like include your website in your bio and stuff like that.
So what I would basically need probably, so I kind of figure, so I would probably, the only platform I really want to use is Facebook,
Oh yeah.
because you can what I guess you post, and then I don't know how to, I don't do Facebook and all that. I do it, you know, I have like, I keep in touch with my friends and stuff like that. Mostly I just scroll through and see what they doing, you know what I mean, or my family. But I don't. I got I guess a Facebook page, but I don't do any posting. I don't think I posted nothing in the last 5 years, maybe longer than that.
Yeah, it might be best since that's probably like a Facebook profile, you can connect it to like if you created like a Facebook page, and then like that page will be like your website. And then you can just like and then once you create your like page, you can invite your friends to like or like follow your page, and then that's where your website comes in and all that other stuff.
Uh-huh. Okay. And then ask my friends to share it, right?
Yeah, you can say that.
So that, you think that'd be the best way, going through your friends?
uh yeah, if you want to use Facebook, yeah, through your friends.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, because I don't have a lot of friends. I got friends, you know what I mean? I get a lot of friend requests, you know, yeah, I got friends who got a lot of friends, you know what I mean? So they are very, I got friends who are very active on Facebook, you know. They post every day almost, you know. and they have a dialogue going. They got, so.
Yeah, that would definitely help out too.
Uh-huh. So so again, right. So did you look at the other thing I sent you, the narrative?
Oh, the Word document.
Huh? The Word
The
document.
Oh yeah, I saved it on under my tabs. Let me just the Uber Crew software one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, I saved it on my computer. Uh, and this kind of, oh yeah, description. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like I kind of see what you like the design of it and everything like that. I
Mm-hmm.
can probably go like follow like the other like description like Word document templates and be like, like the header of like the title and then like the company under it and then like the description and everything and then I have like Grammarly just in case.
I didn't send you the whole document. I should have sent you the whole document, which I sent it to you. The specs they sent me. So I pulled that out of the specs. They wrote the specs when they wrote the description part. They didn't write it correctly, so I had to rewrite it. And that's when I rewrote it. And then because I don't know, because I like I say in this, you always got to take the word this type of operation, You don't you got to be careful about the words you use because it's legal implications and it's tax implications if you use the wrong type of language or if you're giving out. Of course, you can't make this seem like it's an investment and it's not a donation. It's not a charity. It's not a business. It's not a quid pro quo. It's a gifting program. And so, the government can regulate charities and they can regulate commerce, but you could give a gift to anybody who you want to give it to. So that doesn't, come under no kind of regulations because you're gifting. You can give your money or whatever you want to give. You can give whatever you want to give, but they do put a limitation on how much you could give. A person could give for a year as in a gift. So you got to keep that. That's another thing that's along the line. Well, that's after we get a lot of stuff going. We can get to that, but that has to be coded in too. How you change your 8 people. How you change your crew up because you don't want to always stay in the same crew because you want to have different people gifting you different money. So because I think it's like a $40,000 limit is to what one person could give. You know what I mean? And if we going through this thing like I want to go through it, that can easily be exhausted, very easily. And then you get into, like I don't know how much the government take, maybe about 50 or 60% if you don't have no tax write-offs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and most people not gonna have no, 2 houses and a yacht and stuff like they can write off their taxes, charitable donations and all that type. They can write, they end up paying zero taxes because they know how to write. They got all the tax loopholes. They know how to use them. So most people don't know how to use tax loopholes. So if they came into a windfall cash, they're gonna be paying a lot of taxes on it. So, uh, so then there's that. But so again, I just said that when we as you're doing this and you're writing stuff, you gotta be careful of the words you use. Never make this seem like a quid pro quo, because even in an email, if you make it seem like it's a quid pro quo, then you can get sued, for breach of promise or something like that. If something go wrong, so so we're in a situation where there can be no breach of promise because it wasn't no quid pro quo. This wasn't a business deal. It wasn't a legal agreement. And that's what we have to keep it. It's not a legal agreement, essentially. And so, and again, that's when I say when we start going through the money columns and you start accumulating some cash, then I don't know what is going to happen then. Which we got to think about that in advance, though.
yeah, especially like if some people want to like take out some of the money, but then like they also have to realize that they can't take it out until 4,000, and then you just have to like have like that open communication with them so they know.
Right. Well, you could, you could have terms. You could have terms in it, and they have to
Oh
check
yeah,
off the
sounds.
terms. That you agree to these terms to participate in this gifting program. You have to, agree to these terms. These are terms of conditioning. So they can't, so they understood it's a gifting program. You understand this is not a quid pro quo. You understand this is not a charity. You understand this is not a charitable donation. You understand that this is not an investment. You know what I mean? This is not an investment opportunity. I do understand that this is a gifting program. And the gifting program, depends upon I'm not that I gave a gift, but somebody gifted me. The fact that you gave a gift don't mean that you're gonna necessarily be gifted. I mean, that's not you shouldn't draw that conclusion. But of course you will if it goes through it. If they feel that way, then they just keep their dollar. You know what I mean? And keep it moving. So also we have things like we do and I don't know if we're gonna do that or not, but we do Zoom meetings. So also the thing is, anybody who's interested, it's like we have regularly scheduled Zoom meetings where we go over the programs and we have a Q&A session. So anybody who came in and said they want to join, they went to the website and they said, well, I want to come to a Zoom meeting or then have this better explained to me. Then we schedule Zoom meetings too.
Oh yeah, that's good. I have like info sessions and stuff.
Yeah, we have info session. That's a better way to call it, info session. Mm-hmm. Right. And then we urge people to come together as a block. That's another thing that other one on. They urge them to say they have even a tab where if you want to work on a joint project, say you want to work with people and you want to buy a building, or you want to buy a nuclear reactor. That's what I want to buy.
I definitely need that one.
A fusion reactor, although one don't exist right now, but you can invest in it, and stuff like that. I like, so. Yeah, with any or even projects like that, or like we got other type of projects. So I think like if you looked at my website, like I had one, it's not developed. The Sweet Land of Liberty, that's Liberia. So that's what we have our food security program. So we can make sure that these people, in the different countries, like I say, where they might be having food security issues or about to have them if they don't have them. That we can, we'll be able to offer them assistance, like subsidize their food purchases, subsidize the farmers and growing the stuff. I got a lot of, like one thing Marcus Garvey said, he said, let the sky be your limit and eternity your measurement. So he encouraged, I forgot what else, this not coming to mind quick. One of his other sayings is about a man, well, no, he said a man who lacks confidence is twice defeated. You got to look at some. If you ever get a chance, look at some of his sayings. If you don't read his whole book, but look at some of the things he said and some of the things he modeled, and that's how he was able to raise the millions and millions and millions of dollars he had in the 20s, which would translate easy to billions in our days. And these were black people didn't really have a lot going for them. Most of them were like shoeshine boys or maids or poorman porters. We have a black middle class yet. No fully developed black middle class like we got now. You know what I mean? But these are, poor people putting their monies together and able to do a lot of the things he did. Like he bought the ships. He bought a lot of, he was going to get some land in Africa and Liberia. He's going to get, well, the land they was going to give him, they ended up giving it to Firestone. So Firestone put his plantations on there, and it was doing like right before World War I, or during that period where rubber was considered a strategic resource. And so, they sent W.E. Du Bois over there. And Du Bois talked to the mayor or the president of Liberia and told him, don't deal with Garvey. Don't let Garvey come to your country. So the whole thing, it was a whole international movement against Garvey. Garvey must go. That was an international movement. And they had, black people were spearheading it. The Abbott, the Defender, the guy, Pullman Porter guy, A. Philip Randolph, and some more, prominent of the Negro intelligentsia or the Negro elite were all, first they were with him, and then they, because he had such a fiery, erratic personality, I think they say he turned a lot of people off, a lot of people found it difficult to deal with him, so they got out of the organization. But at one point, he had all the intelligentsia working for him. or working with the project, all the intelligentsia of the 20s of that part of the Negro Renaissance, which, mostly we hear about, people call it the Harlem Renaissance, but it really was a Negro Renaissance, and it was going on all around the world. Black people were waking up, what they call the new Negro, but that got squashed, and so we went into a dark period and basically reemerged in the 60s, and that got squashed. So then we went into another dark period, and I think we right now are reemerging from that period. They got squashed in the 60s and the 70s when all those guys went underground, including myself. And so now we are reemerging us, but it's a whole nother different scholars, a whole group of scholars, young people like yourself, who it's time to step up and take the mantle, because actually the baton is going to be passed, and it's, to take the leadership in our liberation movement. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, like kind of like a passing of a torch.
Yeah, passing the torch. Just like the torch was passed to me. Like my mentor was mentored by Garvey. He was the president general of the UNI. He became one of the president generals, and I was his mentee when I was in my 20s. So I mentored under him for about 20 years, and then I went into a sleep period, and so like I emerged from the sleep period and found a lot of things I didn't really like. And which I thought the people in the organization had left the orthodoxy, where they don't even understand the orthodoxy, and then they would become really like heretics, So what they're doing now is heretical, or whatever the word is, and but they don't know it. So part of what I have to do, or the old time people, the old heads, have to kind of like enlighten them, but they resist. Say like the light shine on the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. So yeah, but that's something that could be, just by organizing this program, they're not going to be able to ignore the light. It's like I heard this other analogy, is that people in the tunnel and they don't see no light. All they see is the tunnel. But see, all they got to do is turn. They can't see the light because your back is to the light. If you turn around, you will see the light. All you got to do is turn around and you'll see the light, and all you got to do is follow the light, and you'll be on the path. So they got their backs to the light, and they don't want to turn around and look at the light for whatever reasons. But there are people, all those who will turn around and look at the light, then they'll travel the path.
Yeah, it's like kind of like setting out for like the making sure that you are aware and conscious of the fact, and not like kind of like detouring from like other like distractions and everything like
right that. Exactly. Yeah. Well, they in the darkness, and they cling to their darkness, and it's really ignorance. But ignorance don't let you off the hook, because ignorance is a choice. People are ignorant because they choose to be ignorant. There's a difference between being ignorant and being innocent, So they're not innocent, they're ignorant, And again, that's because they don't want to know. The truth is very simple. It's not complicated, And so that's the issues that I kind of like have with them. But it'll take like a power move to move them out, And so I'm done trying to convince them, And so we're gonna come with a show of a demonstration of authority. Do we have the authority in the organization to do the things we want to do?
Oh yeah, it's kind of like a leadership, like kind of like having leaders within the program to make things done.
Right. Well, yeah, right. I got a plan for that. Also like to bring in 1 million members. So I have a 1 million membership program to and you do it through regional and local. Well, I would say regional and local organizers. So you develop a cadre of organizers. That's how Mr. Garvey did. And so they went out and organized what he called divisions. So you go out and organize. So you have people to go out in the field and organize divisions. And we use this program to bring them in. You join this program, you join the UNIA. And basically that's it. And then of course now with the technology we have with the Zoom technology, that Yeah, with the Zoom technology, with the yeah, right, with this virtual meeting technology we have, it should be even easier.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it's definitely like connecting with people outside the country and everything like
Right.
that too.
Yeah, and it did connected because I've connected with several people outside the country, and fiber helps too,
Oh
Yeah, fiber helps with with connecting with people outside the country, you know. And I found that very interesting. So, how did you get interested in fiber? How did you know about fiber?
I actually had some people work on my like one of my creative things that I was doing for yeah, I had some people on Fiverr that helped me with like the designs and of the things I was doing. So I was like, I had like some of my like programs on like other websites and everything like that. So I was like, hey, might be just like another avenue too. So I just put all my stuff on some of my stuff on 502 just to see.
Oh, oh, okay. How's it been for you?
Oh yeah, so far it's been pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. Hmm. I yeah, that's really good. I kind of like it. It's a good service. I mean, I knew about it because I was going to run for a political office at one time, and I was going to run a grassroots campaign for like a state senator, which is easy to win.
Oh yeah.
It's just a formula that you have to apply. You have to be in the right cycle, running in the right cycle. Like when it's a presidential election, and it's going to be a high turnout. A low turnout favors the incumbent. But if it's a high turnout and you go around doing a door-to-door campaign, you knock on people's doors and you say, "Hey, I'm Timothy Goodwin. I'm running for state senator, and I want your vote." And so just because you came to people's house and shook their hand and gave them some literature, when they go to the poll and they just looking down and not and they don't know what this is, they'll vote for you. You know what I mean? Because they know you. You made contact with them, and so you could really run a low budget campaign. Well, I really wasn't interested after I started thinking about it. I'm really not interested in working with the government like on that level. I mean, so I kind of like backed off of it. I was going to run as a libertarian, and I kind of backed off of them too. What I mean, because I didn't, I wasn't vibing with a lot of stuff they were vibing with. But I still consider myself a libertarian, not necessarily a political libertarian, but a moral libertarian. A libertarian and a sovereign individual, a free moral agent. What I mean? So yeah, and that's basically what it is, being a free moral agent. And asserting my free agency, my privileges as a free agent.
Oh yeah, that's nice, man.
Uh-huh. So it's a lot. It's comprehensive. The things I want to do, looking to in the future after I get this going, and of course I might want to get not a podcast, maybe a podcast or a video channel, a YouTube channel, where I sit around and discuss a lot of my ideas and a lot of things I want to do.
Oh yeah, I actually have those platforms too, so I know how to get you started if you wanted to.
Right. Uh-huh. Well, that's definitely. Well, first thing I want to do is get this. This is phase one, is to get
Oh yeah, phase one website.
yeah, to get the susu. But it's not. It don't hurt to think. Think. Strategically, should say. This step leads to that step. This step leads to that step. When we accomplish this, then we're able to go to the next step. We accomplish this, we're able to go to the next step. So you want to kind of like. But first of all, it's just so hard to crystallize in all these ideas because, for the most part, that's been a solitary walk. I've been walking alone. And I very rarely have even people I can share ideas with. And like I said, I shared the idea to Susu. I've been working on this for about 2 years, and basically I had it complete. It took me about a year to finish it. Then now I've been pitching it for a year. What I mean? And a lot of people, they show interest and say, "Oh yeah, but either they don't know how to, what they could do, or what to tell me to do next." Or so I was at a point where, like I say, it was stagnation, and I couldn't launch it. So it's just a point of implementation. How do we implement it? And like talking to you is, I kind of knew, and I looked on Fiverr. And so when I started going back to Fiverr, my friend of mine suggested I go look on Fiverr. Hey, somebody else had suggested I looked on Fiverr, but I kind of like didn't really want to share my ideas because I didn't really understand how the platform worked. I understand. Like I gave a guy my ideas, and all of a sudden I see somebody else doing them. I pop up and you see it on YouTube, all your ideas that you gave to somebody. But I think it's copyrighted protected. So,
That's good.
yeah. And so, and I know I done it, so if anybody pop it up and they use the same thing, I can say, well, look, here's where I started it. It's an infringement. I gave it to you and you got it from so and so and so and so, but I don't know. But like I said, I haven't really given it to nobody in this country. I gave it to a few people and I discussed it with a few people. Like I showed it to the UNIA and they didn't want to do it. You know what I mean? They immediately shot it down. They said it was a pyramid scheme, which I, really resent anybody calling the pyramids something a scam. Associating the pyramids with a scam. The pyramids represent eternity, and that's not a scam. So, I tell them to watch your language. Call it a Ponzi scheme, call it something else if you want to, but don't associate it with the pyramids. So, and this is from the UNIA. It'll be a Black organization, Black Pan African Nationalist Organization. But so anyway, they didn't like it. So I had a few other ideas. They liked a lot of my ideas, and they want to discuss a few of them. But we really don't. They don't. For the most part, they poo-pooed it. And so I really didn't want to put no more energy into them. I just said I would just pursue it. And then when I have proof of concept, I'll come back.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm. So now well, I've been trying to work on the proof of concept again for about a year, and I haven't really been able to do anything.
Somehow my Zoom, I put the time limit to longer to like 4 hours, but it still says like we have less than a minute. I'm not too sure how it's